Chosen one, your angel is pleading before God. This message was sent just for you, chosen one. This moment is not random, it's divinely appointed. You've felt it in your spirit, haven't you, the strange stillness? The weight of delay, the quiet resistance pressing against your faith, and yet something within you refuses to collapse. That something is not weakness, it's the echo of eternity reminding you that heaven is not silent. Right now, your angel stands before the courts of the Most High, pleading your cause with passion, with urgency, with unwavering belief in what you've dared to imagine. This message has been sent not just to encourage you, but to confirm what your soul already knows. You are not forgotten, you are not ignored, and you are certainly not denied. The heavens are moved by faith, and your faith has awakened divine activity. Listen closely, your angel is speaking through this word, and what you're about to receive will change everything. The inner man is not alone, divine intercession is real, you are not alone, chosen one. Even when you sit in silence, staring into the void with no answers, no direction, and no visible change, there is a presence with you that the natural eye cannot see. You may have been taught to believe that help comes with form, with faces, with human voices echoing encouragement. But the deeper truth is this: your angel has always been with you, an eternal witness of your thoughts, your tears, your unspoken hopes, and your private despairs. This being is not distant, not floating on some abstract cloud. No, your angel is deeply involved in your story, assigned to your destiny before time began. It walks with you through valleys and climbs with you on mountains. And in the very moments when your lips are silent but your heart is aching, your angel becomes your voice in the realm where decisions are made before God himself. The intercession happening on your behalf is not poetic metaphor, it is spiritual law. You are never unheard, for the real you, the inner man, is always broadcasting, always radiating, always praying without words. Your feelings, your moods, your imaginal acts, they are not unnoticed. They are divine signals, and the angel assigned to you interprets every vibration and presents them in the courts of heaven. That inner you, the one that is often dismissed, ignored, or forgotten by the world, is the part of you that has always mattered most. That's the part your angel hears. That's the part heaven responds to. And while you're worrying about bills, delays, betrayals, and silence, your angel is pleading with fire, because you're closer than you think. Every sigh you've breathed in disappointment, every time you said, "God, where are you?" that was a cry from your inner man. Not one of those moments has gone unnoticed. You may not have seen immediate results, but that does not mean there was no response. Heaven doesn't move on emotion alone, it moves on vibration, frequency, belief. And every time you return to the quiet place, every time you chose to imagine something better instead of giving in to fear, your angel lifted your silent declaration like an offering and stood before God with it. There is an ancient truth few understand: you are not praying alone. That's why even when you're exhausted and don't know what to say, somehow peace finds you. That's why, even after your most hopeless nights, a sudden spark of courage rises again. That's the ministry of your angel. They don't just protect, they plead. They don't just watch, they present your spirit's cry as evidence that you still believe, even when your body feels broken. The world honors the loud, the aggressive, the visible. But heaven honors the secret cry, the unseen persistence, the silent agreement between your soul and God. And your angel, who knows the fullness of your assignment, is presenting your name, yes, your name, before the throne of God right now. There are moments when your physical reality will directly contradict your inner knowing. You'll look around and see no proof, hear no confirmation, receive no reward. In those moments, the enemy will try to convince you that your prayers are ineffective, that your imagination is delusional, and that your life is stuck. But those are the very moments your angel is most active. Because you've entered the realm of faith, and faith is the language angels understand, your faith doesn't need applause or public agreement. It only needs your personal conviction, the quiet yes you say in the dark. Your angel translates that yes into a decree, and that decree is brought before the judge who sees beyond time, who answers according to purpose, not panic. You don't need to beg, because your angel is already pleading. You don't need to chase people, because the heavens are already aligning. Your only job is to stay seated in the truth. You are not alone, and your destiny is already spoken for. You may feel small at times, outnumbered, overlooked, passed over, but you have something more powerful than public favor, divine representation. Your angel is not bound by human laws, social timelines, or cultural expectations. They operate in the realm of divine will, and that will cannot be stopped when faith is present. You've made it through things others would have collapsed under. You've survived moments that made no sense. You've held on when everything in you wanted to let go. That's not weakness, that's legacy, that's divine preservation, and it wasn't accidental. Your angel fought battles you never saw, redirected accidents you never experienced, shielded you from betrayals you were never aware of, and most of all carried your spirit's petition into heavenly courts, where your name is known and your promise is intact. You didn't come this far to be abandoned. You came this far because your story is not finished, and your intercessor, your angel, is already preparing the next chapter. There's a reason you keep hearing the word chosen. It's not hype, it's not ego. It's identity. The chosen aren't perfect, but they're appointed. They don't look qualified, but they're anointed. They face strange storms and painful silence, not because they're forgotten, but because the weight of what they carry is too sacred to be handled casually. You are one of them. That's why you don't fit. That's why the path has been narrow. That's why the blessing hasn't come cheap, because what's on your life requires purification, refinement, and absolute spiritual backing. Your angel has seen your trials, heard your cries, and knows what heaven has planned. That's why they're pleading, not because you're weak, but because your assignment is great. The greater the calling, the louder the spiritual warfare. But the louder the warfare, the more intense the divine backing. You are covered even now, so don't be dismayed by the delays. Don't let temporary silence confuse you into thinking heaven is not active. Divine intercession doesn't always result in immediate manifestation. Sometimes it brings unseen favor, redirection, or divine protection that keeps you hidden until the right time. But never confuse hiddenness with abandonment. Your angel has not stopped pleading, and God has not stopped listening. The courts of heaven are still in session, and your case is still active. Every seed you've sown in faith is documented. Every act of love, forgiveness, obedience, and surrender recorded. And your angel brings these as testimonies before God, saying, "Look at what they still believe despite what they feel. This is what moves the heavens, not perfection, but persistence. You don't have to force anything. Rest in the truth. The inner man is not alone. Even when you can't see the end, even when the pressure builds, your angel stands. When you sleep, they stand. When you weep, they stand. When you question, they stand. And when you finally choose to believe again, even after pain, they rise higher. Because every return to faith is a trumpet in the spirit, and the heavens respond. Your angel is not passive. Your angel is passionate. And your angel will not stop until the promise you carry becomes the reality you live. Stay still. Stay in belief. You're not alone, never have been. You are seen. You are covered. And heaven is moving on your behalf. Imagination is the prayer that your angel carries upward, chosen one. What if I told you that the words you speak are not the loudest part of your prayer? What if I revealed that the true prayer, the one that shifts realms and opens doors, is the image you hold inside, the inner vision that persists when the world around you offers no evidence? This is the secret the spiritually awakened have always known. Your imagination is prayer. And the moment you enter into a state where your desired outcome feels real within, that emotional and spiritual vibration becomes the very offering your angel carries before God. You may think you're daydreaming, you may dismiss it as wishful thinking, but heaven doesn't. Heaven reads your imaginal acts as blueprints. Angels don't respond to noise, they respond to frequency, and your most powerful frequency is generated not by reciting memorized lines, but by embodying the state of the answered prayer. In this state, your angel rises. In this state, your request takes form. In this state, God is moved. Because heaven doesn't react to empty repetition, it moves by conviction, by faith, by what is felt and believed in the heart, not merely spoken by the lips. Your angel listens to your imagination the way God listens to your faith. When the inner man imagines victory, wholeness, abundance, healing, restoration, even while the outer world looks like chaos, the angel is commissioned to carry that frequency as a living testimony into the divine courtroom. You don't need to convince God. You need to align with what is already yours in spirit. You've been taught to pray with hands folded and eyes closed, but the true spiritual masters pray with their eyes wide open, not looking outward, but inward. They live in the state of the wish fulfilled. They don't wait for evidence, they become the evidence. They imagine with such detail, such intensity, that their inner reality becomes more real than their current experience. That's when the angel moves, because your imagination isn't fantasy, it's creative law. It's the womb of manifestation. What you imagine with faith and persist in feeling, your angel interprets as done. The realm of angels does not operate on time, it moves with alignment. And alignment happens when the inner man refuses to let go of the vision, even when the facts say otherwise. That's when power is transferred. That's when spiritual legal authority is activated. When you say in your spirit, "This is who I am, this is what I have, this is what is done," your angel takes that wordless declaration and pleads it before God as truth. That's why your imagination matters. That's why your inner pictures carry more weight than outer noise. You are not just waiting on God. God is responding to what you are holding in consciousness. Most people believe they must struggle, plead, or earn their blessing. But the chosen understand the battle is not out there, it's within. What you see inside becomes what you attract outside. Your angel cannot carry confusion, fear, or contradiction before God. Your angel responds to clarity, not of speech, but of state. When you dare to live in the feeling of already having what you've asked for, even when nothing around you matches, you are speaking the language of the Spirit, and that language is what your angel understands. Think of this when you vividly imagine holding that promise, when you walk as if it's already yours, when you give thanks not for what's coming, but what already exists in your unseen realm. You bypass delay. You collapse time, you move into divine authority, because imagination is not idle, it is spiritual strategy, it is prophecy, it is divine agreement between you and God. You are not begging, you are co-creating. And your angel's job is to carry that creation into form. The prayer is not the words, it is the image you dare to embody. Many cry out for answers, but few understand that the answer begins in the mind. The problem is not always the lack of opportunity, it is the lack of inner agreement. Your angel cannot carry divided signals. When you imagine victory for a moment but then return to fear, when you claim the promise but expect defeat, when you visualize abundance but speak lack, your angel stands still, not because you are forgotten, but because angels do not function in confusion. They respond to truth, and truth is a state of being, not a list of conditions. So the call is this: remain in the state of the fulfilled desire. Return to it every morning, every night, see it clearly. Feel it deeply, walk in it boldly. The more real it becomes within, the more effortlessly your angel will carry it upward. Do not dismiss your imagination as childish. It is sacred technology, the divine portal through which God moves through man. Your angel stands ready not to perform your fantasies, but to fulfill your convictions. You might ask, but how do I know if it's working? The answer is peace. When you enter the state of fulfillment in your imagination and begin to feel rest instead of striving, peace instead of panic, confidence instead of begging, your angel has already taken flight. Something shifts in the invisible. Doors begin to open, delays are broken, suddenly people remember you, favor locates you, answers find you, not because you performed harder, but because you imagined rightly. Heaven cannot resist alignment. Your imagination, when fused with faith, becomes your angel's highest weapon. The battle is not fought with physical swords, but with invisible agreement. As you live in the unseen answer, your angel fights through resistance and delays to manifest it in your world. This is why Jesus said, when you pray, believe that you have received and it will be yours. It was never about waiting to see, it was about seeing it already done within. Chosen one, your imagination is not rebellion against reality, it is the seed of divine reality. Stop bowing to what you see and start honoring what you know. There is a realm where it's already done, and your angel lives in that realm. They are not pleading based on your lack, but on your alignment. Your imagination gives the angel evidence. Look, they believe. Look, they have entered the state. Look, they are walking by spirit, not by sight. That's what heaven responds to. That's why this message found you. Because you've been imagining things, seeing visions, dreaming of greater, but you've also been doubting whether it matters. It does. It matters more than anything. The enemy's biggest strategy is to make you dismiss your imagination, because he knows that's where your creative power lies. But not anymore. From this day forward, honor your vision. Don't just imagine passively, imagine persistently. Let the image grow, let it evolve, let it become your inner home, for as long as you hold it, your angel has permission to move. This is the turning point. This is where begging ends and alignment begins. You are not powerless. You are not unheard. You are not forgotten. You are a co-creator with God, and your angel is pleading with fire on your behalf, not because you asked loudly, but because you dared to imagine deeply. That's the real prayer. That's the inner altar. That's the fire that attracts divine manifestation. When you walk as if it's already done, live as if you've already won, and feel as if you've already received, the angel assigned to your destiny says to God, "It is finished." And when heaven agrees, nothing in earth can stop it. So don't look for signs, become the sign. Don't ask for permission, take your seat in the promise. The unseen will birth the seen. The inner will rewrite the outer. And your angel, empowered by your imagination, will not rest until what you held in spirit becomes what you hold in hand. Delay is not denial. The angel must align what you've already declared chosen one. Listen carefully. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Just because heaven is quiet doesn't mean you're being ignored. And just because you feel stuck doesn't mean you're off track. You must understand this powerful truth. Delay is not denial. What feels like stagnation is often divine synchronization. Your angel is not slow, confused, or absent. No, your angel is working behind the veil, aligning everything you've already declared in the realm of spirit with the proper timing and positioning in the realm of form. There is no wasted waiting when you're aligned with divine purpose. God is not reacting to your panic. He is responding to your faith. The moment you dared to imagine, to believe, to affirm what was already yours in the unseen, your angel went to work. But you must understand, the angel's responsibility is not just to deliver, it is to align, and alignment takes orchestration. It takes strategic delay. It requires movement beyond what you can observe. So the next time you find yourself wondering, why is it taking so long, remember, the answer is already yours, but your angel is still organizing the environment for its proper manifestation, not for punishment, but for perfection. The world you see with your physical eyes is just the echo of an earlier vibration, a lagging mirror of your inner state. And while your imagination may have already birthed the reality, the outer world requires time to catch up with the inner decree. Your angel is the courier between those two dimensions. They take what you have declared in belief, not in desperation, but in quiet certainty, and begin to usher it through layers of resistance, distractions, and spiritual opposition until it reaches your hand. This process is rarely instantaneous, not because God is withholding, but because heaven is wise. You don't want just any version of the promise. You want the perfected version, the one that comes with longevity, peace, and divine alignment. Sometimes you think you're ready, but your environment isn't. Sometimes the people who need to open the door for you are still being prepared. And sometimes the blessing you're waiting for could be corrupted by premature exposure. So your angel delays, not to deny, but to protect, to prepare, and to ensure your manifestation arrives in full power, not in partial form. In the silence, your angel is still pleading. In the waiting, your angel is still working. Do not mistake divine patience for abandonment. Heaven doesn't rush, it reigns. While you are staring at the clock, your angel is navigating a spiritual blueprint that transcends time. What feels like inactivity is actually intense preparation. Your angel is moving people, shifting circumstances, breaking down walls, and ensuring the exact conditions needed for what you've declared to arrive without delay when the moment is right. And you must understand, divine delay is not random. It is mathematical, it is calculated, it is based on spiritual timing, not emotional urgency. The problem is your flesh wants speed, but your spirit requires alignment. If the blessing came too soon, you might not value it. If the door opened too early, you might walk through it unprepared. That's why the delay exists, not to frustrate, but to fortify. You are not just waiting on something, you are being shaped into someone who can hold it. Most people break down in the waiting. They begin to doubt, to complain, to reverse their inner declarations. But you, chosen one, must understand that the delay is the test of the true believer. Anyone can speak the promise once. But the mature remain in the state of belief even when nothing around them agrees with what they've declared. That's when your angel is most active, not when you're shouting with joy, but when you're standing still in faith. When you choose to believe without a sign, when you say it is done, even when your eyes say it's still missing, that unwavering state is what gives your angel the authority to keep pleading on your behalf. Heaven responds to stability. Your angel cannot carry unstable vibrations to God. One day you believe, the next day you doubt. 1 hour you visualize, the next hour you curse your situation. 1 minute you affirm, the next you complain. That kind of spiritual instability delays the alignment even further, not because God is punishing you, but because your angel needs consistency to finalize the arrangement. The law of divine intercession is not a slot machine. It is a system of alignment. When you declared that promise as done, the angel began the process. But when you question it, reverse it, or give up on it, you interrupt what was already in motion. You wouldn't plant a seed and dig it up every other day to check if it's growing. So don't do that with your declaration. Once spoken, once imagined, once accepted within, leave it alone. Trust that your angel heard you the first time. Trust that heaven has begun to move, and trust that even if you can't see the movement, the roots are growing underground. The manifestation may be hidden, but it's not absent. Your declaration has already echoed through realms, and your angel is ensuring the outer reality will soon match the inner conviction. But until then, wait well. Wait with peace, wait with power, wait with joy, wait with full faith, not because it's easy, but because it's already done in spirit. Every second you stay in belief sharpens the sword of your angel. Every moment you persist without panic is a flame in the spiritual realm. The enemy's only real weapon against you is discouragement. He knows he cannot steal your blessing, so he tries to talk you out of it before it arrives. That's why things suddenly get worse right before they break through. That's why the silence feels heavier just before the sound of breakthrough echoes, because your angel is almost finished, and just as the final alignment is coming together, the opposition attacks hardest. But don't fold, don't shift your declaration, don't curse what's already being formed. Just because the storm rages doesn't mean the promise has changed. Your angel is still pleading, still aligning, still perfecting what you already declared. Keep standing. The ground beneath your feet may feel shaky, but your foundation in spirit is eternal. Heaven doesn't break its own laws, and the law says, whatever is declared in faith, believed without doubt, and held as a living reality within must manifest in time. Chosen one, the silence is sacred. It's the stage where your trust is tested and your power is proven. It's easy to believe when you're receiving, it's holy to believe when you're still waiting. That's the realm of true creation. That's when your angel stands tallest. Your delay is not a mistake, it is divine management. And when the fullness of time comes, you won't have to force your way in. The door will swing open. The people will be ready. The provision will be perfect. The timing will be divine. And it won't be because you fought harder. It will be because you remain still in the right posture. You won't just receive the blessing, you'll become the person who can carry it. Because during the delay, something happened within you. You let go of desperation and entered into divine rest. You stopped looking outward and started living from within. You became the promise before you ever touched it. And when the alignment is complete, your angel will step back not because they've left, but because their assignment will be fulfilled. What you declared will become what you live, and all the delay will make sense. You'll see it was never punishment, it was precision. You weren't being denied, you were being prepared for something greater than you knew. So trust the silence, honor the waiting, and above all, don't change the vision. Your angel is still moving, your declaration is still alive, and your moment is still coming. Delay is not denial, it is the divine process of perfect alignment. And you, chosen one, are right on time. Your angel responds to faith, not fear. Stop repeating the wrong story, chosen one. The universe is listening, and so is your angel, not to your complaints, not to your fears, not to your emotional outbursts, but to the story you consistently choose to believe and repeat within. The invisible realm is not governed by external performance, but by inner conviction. What you repeatedly affirm in your thoughts, emotions, and expectations becomes the law by which your angel is permitted to operate. And this is the divine key so many overlook. Your angel doesn't respond to need, your angel responds to faith. Your tears do not move heaven if they're soaked in unbelief. Your words don't have power unless they're charged with spiritual conviction. You can cry, you can scream, you can pace around your room, but if you keep rehearsing the story of being stuck, abandoned, forgotten, or unworthy, then that becomes the energetic signal your angel must work with. You are not being punished, you are simply reaping the vibration you've planted. Spiritual law cannot be broken. The narrative you live by becomes the agreement heaven honors. And if you keep telling the story of fear, lack, betrayal, rejection, or failure, then your angel, who only operates in faith and alignment, must step back until you return to truth. Your angel does not understand fear-based declarations. They are warriors of light, programmed for the frequency of heaven, which is faith, trust, and divine identity. When you say things like, "It's never going to change, no one sees me, nothing good ever happens to me, God has forgotten me," you are not just venting, you are releasing creative instructions into your spiritual atmosphere. Every statement you repeat is not just an opinion, it is a command. Your words are not empty, they are containers of power. Your angel stands ready to deliver divine outcomes, but only when your vibration matches what you desire. You cannot live in a state of fear and expect results of faith. You cannot keep repeating the old wound and expect new glory. You must make a choice. The narrative must shift, because your angel is listening not to what you say once in desperation, but what you say daily in belief. The spiritual realm records consistency, not intensity. So you may shout a prayer once, but if you return to fear the next day, you've canceled the frequency. The world doesn't teach this because it doesn't understand that creation begins within. Your angel is not confused, not ignoring you, not slow. They are simply honoring the spiritual frequency you've maintained. If you want change, change the story. This is why the enemy attacks your mind more than your circumstances. Because if he can get you to repeat defeat long enough, he doesn't need to block your blessing, you'll do it yourself. If he can get you to believe the lie, your own angel has no authority to override your agreement with fear. That's why he whispers doubt when you wake up. That's why he reminds you of your past every time you try to believe again. That's why your emotions get triggered when you take a bold step, because the enemy knows you're one story away from a breakthrough. And he's trying to keep you locked in the old script. But the moment you switch the internal narrative, the moment you start repeating the truth of who you are and what's already done in spirit, your angel receives new permission. The atmosphere begins to shift. People respond differently. Ideas begin to flow. Doors begin to open, not because the external world changed first, but because your internal decree changed. And when you align with heaven, heaven aligns with you. Your angel is bound to spiritual law, and faith is the highest law. It overrides circumstances, feelings, timelines, and logic. It speaks from completion, not from need, and when you start living in that state, your angel goes to war for you. You must stop feeding your future with yesterday's disappointment. You must stop repeating what didn't happen, who didn't show up, what went wrong, and how long it's been. That story does not serve your spirit. It serves your fear, and as long as you rehearse it, you reinforce it. The angel cannot plead a story before God that you yourself have canceled in unbelief. The story must shift. Speak the version of your life that you know is aligned with divine promise, even if your eyes can't see it yet. Say, "I am favored," even when rejection shows up. Say, "I am provided for," even when the account is low. Say, "I am chosen and protected," even when the storm rages, because the truth is not what your eyes see, it's what your spirit knows. You are not creating lies, you are declaring what already exists in the invisible realm. Your angel is ready to move, but they need a new script. You cannot feed your mind fear and expect your life to grow in faith. The chosen ones don't speak what they see, they speak what they've been shown in spirit. That's how divine results are created. There is no neutral story. Every thought you nurture is building something. Every word you repeat is constructing a spiritual agreement. You must ask yourself, what story am I empowering? Is it the story of lack, fear, rejection, betrayal, abandonment, or is it the story of love, provision, divine timing, supernatural favor, and irreversible promise? You cannot live in two realities. You must choose one, and when you make your choice not emotionally, but spiritually, your angel will align with you in full force. This is why God gives you glimpses, visions, and impressions that contradict your current situation. Not to tease you, but to invite you into the higher story. That image you saw in prayer, that dream you had at midnight, that sudden moment of clarity while walking that was not fantasy, that was the invitation to align. And when you said yes, even silently, your angel received the signal. But now your part is to stay in that agreement. Don't speak against what you've seen in spirit just because you're tired in the natural. Don't reverse your promise because the path looks difficult. Faith is not proven when it feels good. It is proven when everything seems wrong, yet you still believe right. Your angel isn't asking for perfection. They are waiting for persistence. You don't have to scream declarations to prove your faith. You just need to stop watering your fear. Feed the story of your future, not the memory of your failure. Rehearse the outcome you desire, not the obstacles you dread. Speak to your environment from the place of authority, not because of what you see, but because of who you are. Your angel already knows the end of your story, but they need you to choose that version daily. This is not magic, this is law, this is the design of the spiritual realm, and once you cooperate with it, your results will no longer be inconsistent. Miracles won't be random, favor won't be seasonal. It will become your norm because you've finally agreed with truth not just once, but continuously. Chosen one, your breakthrough is not waiting on a sign, it's waiting on a sustained story, and your angel is standing in the gap, ready to plead for the reality you align with. Speak what is true in spirit, feel it, imagine it, declare it, live from it, and watch how fast things begin to change. Your angel is not confused. They've been waiting for you to get clear, and now that you are, the heavens are responding. So stop repeating the wrong story. Your words are not casual, they are contracts. Break the old ones, sign a new one. Say, I am the one God has chosen. I am protected, elevated, surrounded by divine assistance. I walk in supernatural order. I lack nothing. I am already becoming who I've seen in my vision. Say it even if your voice shakes. Say it until your emotions submit. Say it until your angel takes it to the throne and God says, it is done. This is your moment to speak faith, live faith, and become the fulfillment of the promise. Heaven is ready, your angel is ready. The question is, are you? This message is timed for you because you've reached the turning point, chosen one. This message didn't just find you, it was released for you, to you, and because of you. There's something in your spirit that has shifted, something invisible yet undeniable. You may not have words for it, but deep down you feel it. A spiritual turning point has arrived. You've reached the end of the waiting season and stepped into the threshold of divine unfolding. This isn't just another motivational word, it's the confirmation that heaven has been watching your journey, recording your faith, weighing your sacrifices, and now, in perfect divine order, your angel has been released with instruction, authority, and acceleration. You see, in the spiritual realm, movement begins before manifestation. Things change in the spirit before they shift in the physical. And the reason you're reading this now is because your angel has been sent to affirm what's already been spoken over you long before the foundation of this world. This is not random timing, this is divine synchronization, and your recognition of it is what activates it in full. You're not late, you're not behind, and you're not forgotten. You've arrived at the spiritual checkpoint designed for those who endure in faith, not because of their strength, but because they refused to let go when everything told them to. You've walked through fires that tried to destroy your belief. You've sat in silence that tested your sanity. You've seen others pass you, be blessed before you, and be celebrated while you sat unnoticed, yet you didn't give up. You've carried invisible burdens with a smile. You've cried in secret and encouraged others in public. You've surrendered dreams that didn't make sense and obeyed nudges that no one else could understand. That's not weakness, that's spiritual maturity. And your angel has seen it all. In the unseen realm, your obedience has been shouting louder than your words. Your silent faith has built more than you realize, and now the spiritual courtroom has ruled in your favor. Your angel has been dispatched with divine clarity and purpose. What you thought was stuck is now moving. What you thought was lost is about to return multiplied. And what you imagined, what you dared to believe even when your eyes saw nothing, is about to be confirmed by undeniable evidence in your life, not because of coincidence, but because you reached the turning point. You must understand something crucial. Turning points don't look like what the world expects. They often appear in the middle of exhaustion, chaos, and contradiction. You don't always feel a turning point, you recognize it later. But heaven knows when it happens. It's the moment when you stop living by what you see and start operating from what you know. It's when you give up begging and start declaring. It's when you stop waiting for confirmation and become the confirmation. That's when your angel receives new orders. Because turning points are not marked by external breakthroughs, they're marked by internal decisions. And your decision to stand in belief, to continue imagining, affirming, expecting even when everything seemed delayed, has broken open new authority in the spirit. That's why this message feels different. That's why something within you is burning even now. You are not imagining this. Your angel is whispering, it's time, not later, not next year, now, and your agreement with that whisper will determine how quickly things begin to manifest. Your life up to this point has not been wasted. Even your detours were designed. Even your delays were divine. God never needed perfection, he needed persistence, and you gave it, not always with confidence, but always with commitment. You kept showing up, you kept dreaming in private even when public results were invisible. You kept praying prayers that sometimes felt empty but were full of faith simply because you still said them. You kept affirming things you had no proof of, and that's what turned the key, that's what opened the gate, that's what triggered the timing. The spiritual realm operates on completion of internal cycles, not human calendars. And the cycle of wilderness, you've endured the silence, the struggle, the knot, yet has been completed. You are now standing at the edge of your manifestation, not because it's being given to you, but because you've finally become the version of yourself who can carry it. That's why this message arrived now. It's not just encouragement, it's activation. Your angel, who has been pleading your case in the courts of heaven, has now been released to act. What they were once advocating for, they are now delivering. But their delivery depends on your continued agreement. You cannot walk into this season still telling old stories. You cannot carry old shame into new elevation. You cannot speak doubt in a realm that demands unshakable faith. What's ahead of you will require a higher level of inner alignment. You must speak like it's done, think like it's yours, act like it's answered. The turning point shifts your atmosphere when you shift. And you have whether you feel ready or not. You may still see unfinished battles, but in spirit, your case is closed, and the verdict is favor. Your angel has already gone before you to prepare the connections, the conversations, the coincidences that are really divine appointments. Stop trying to figure out how, just stay in the state of belief, because that belief is the frequency your angel uses to operate on your behalf. You are walking into a season where things will begin to make sense. The heartbreak, the delay, the lonely nights, they weren't meant to break you, but to build you. They were your classroom, and you passed the test. That's why the timing has shifted. That's why the spiritual traffic that blocked your progress is now clearing. What was once resisted is now being released. People who forgot you are about to remember. Opportunities that were once locked are about to swing wide open, but it's not magic, it's the result of inner agreement. You are finally aligned, and alignment is the language of heaven, and your angel charged with your destiny has been waiting for this precise moment to execute the next phase of your promise. You don't need to force anything. Your only job now is to remain in the awareness that it's already yours. Stop begging, stop watching the clock, stop doubting your vision. Your time is not just coming, it's here. Chosen one, you've entered the spiritual now. What felt like delay was development. What felt like loss was preparation. What felt like silence was setup. You've crossed the threshold and nothing will ever be the same. This message was not sent to motivate, it was sent to awaken, to remind you that you're not waiting anymore, you're transitioning. And your angel has already gone ahead of you. There will be evidence, there will be favor, there will be a quickening of every promise you've faithfully held in the secret place. Do not turn back, do not downplay what you carry. Do not apologize for the speed of the shift. This is the reward of surrender. This is the fruit of faith. And this is the moment where the heavens confirm what your soul has always known. You've reached the turning point. Now walk like it, speak like it, live like it. The angel has moved and now it's your turn.